Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I'm going to talk a little bit about weapons lights. If you saw recent videos, I had purchased a new gun, and I was interested in a new version of an old favorite. And so now that I've done my testing and everything, I want to talk about it a little bit. So first off, the gun is a Glock 43X MOS. I removed the slide just to make it convenient so I can focus a little bit more on the light here. The light itself is the Olight Valkyrie. This is the PL Mini 3, all right, which is different than the PL Mini 2, which I have off the gun frame here. So before I get into the 3 and why I got that, let's talk about the 2. This is a phenomenal little light, all right. First of all, it's super compact. It's very small. I like that it has a quick detach lever, all right. So to put it on, you'd put your appropriate insert. This is on the Glock, so I have the Glock piece in there because that fits the rail for Glocks. You push through, it's spring-loaded, but you open it up, put it on your rail, find where you want it, because this is on a little guide system, all right? You see how this slides back and forth with these little notches, right, like a little rail? So you can have this, you know, pushed out forward more if you want. You can have it pulled in all the way tight to the trigger guard. What's really nice about that is that wherever your finger lands for your particular hand, you might want these switches right down exactly at a certain spot, so you can actually adjust that quite a bit, which is a huge advantage over a lot of older, or not older, but different weapons lights designs, right? Turn around, lock it in, and that's it. And it locks in like a bank vault. It is perfect. Now, the quick detach, all right, that is something that was useful for me because this is magnetic charging. The battery is internal. You can't remove the battery or anything. So when I wanted to charge this, I would take this off the gun. So that was pivotal to have that quick detach, right? It's a very good part of the design, but also necessary because I didn't want to leave my whole gun there to charge it. So, this is a great light. This one is about $80. Again, it depends on whether you get in on one of their sales, which they're having all the time, but that's about the going rate is $80 for this. Puts out 600 lumens. Again, just tight, small little package. I know some weapons lights are huge, and I'll talk about that later on. But I liked it. I liked it because it was so compact, and at 600 lumens was enough for me. It was basically enough. Now, I have 3 of these. One of them is tan. These are fantastic lights. I've used these on multiple of my carry guns. Now, I did want to use this on my Glock 43, but there's no rail on the 43, as you know. So I had to go with a Streamlight just because that attached to the trigger guard. Otherwise, I would have chose this one. Knowing that I was going to get a new gun, I wanted to pop one of these on there. The problem is that the Glock piece, it does not fit the newer 43X. They have a proprietary, it's like a wider piece in there. So what I wanted to do originally was just get the mount, because Olight does sell a 43X mount. And I figured I would put this light on the new mount. Then I just thought, hey, why not just try the new light? So I got the new light with the 43X mount. All right, so you can see how these mounts are different. This is the quick detach. This one is not quick detach. This just has a screw. Now, I will say when I first put this on and did my testing, it got a little bit loose, but that is my own fault because I kind of hand cranked it without any tools. I went back and just gave it a full, it took another full turn, and it has been locked on there. Over 500 rounds with this. It is not moving at all. It's perfect. So, the downside, obviously, the quick detach was really nice on the 2. The 3 does not have that, but that's okay. The reason I got this, the major reason, is because this has removable batteries. As you can see, there's no magnetic charging on the bottom. Instead, you have your battery actually locked in. All right, so to remove it, you push that over, and it pops out. Okay, this is magnetic in here. That's it. To install it, click it over, you're good to go. Again, pops out. What's super cool about this is you do have a little button here to check to see if it's charged. So you see that green light, this is charged up. The one in the background I used for my testing, so I had to recharge it. So all you have to do is, again, magnetic piece, and goes into a USB. This light came with a spare battery, which to me is huge. Here's a little case for it. That was a really big deal because the whole point of having this system is to have a spare battery to go with it. So the idea is that your light needs a charge and it's out of commission, so you don't want to just not be able to carry your gun. Like, let's say you go to grab it in the morning, you're about to leave for whatever, you're going out for the day. oh no, your battery's dead. So what do? Leave your light? No, you just swap with your already charged battery and you're good to go for the day. All right, that's a huge bonus for me. All right, I really like this in one of the Streamlight designs, which I have in my Glock 19, but this is absolutely perfect. I much prefer this. Now, the new one is $100, so it's $20 more for this specific system. But again, having the spare battery, it's almost like the same price to me, and you're paying the $20 for the spare battery. But that is a huge thing for me. With this one, again, and I had multiple of these so that if I had to charge this, I literally put a new one on for the day because I don't want to go without having my flashlight. I feel like, you know, it's Murphy's Law. If you carry a flashlight on your gun every single day, you obviously don't use your gun, maybe you need to use it today, and that's when your flashlight's at home getting, you know, charged. So I didn't like that at all. I really love the idea of having that external battery. And the fact you could check it real quick with a button, that's just a huge bonus. Now, how these things work, let me show you on the two, is it's ambidextrous, so you have little paddles on both sides. You just tap down, right? You can use either one, turn on, off. A long press is for momentary on. You let go, it shuts off. Or a quick tap is for, you know, constant on. What I like about the 3 is that you have the option for a strobe mode. Now, you can either have it set so it goes on or not have it at all. So if you don't like strobe. But one tap just keeps it on, constant. All right, again, it's either side. Or momentary, you hold it down. When you let go, it shuts off. But I have this programmed to do a strobe on a double tap. So tap, tap, and it goes right to strobe. Which strobe could be obviously very disorientating if you're in a situation where you're using your gun for self-defense and someone else has their own weapon. You obviously don't want them to be able to see where you are easily. Now, you could argue, in any case, when you have a flashlight on your gun, yeah, they're going to shoot towards the light. It's harder to see where you are in the dark without the light, but you're also not seeing where you're shooting. So it's kind of a catch-22 for me. I don't really care that, okay, yeah, they know where I am, but I'm be able to see them. And in the case, and again, this is going to be one of those things where in self-defense, I may not even think of it. I just turn the light on, whatever, boom, boom, boom. You know, I'm not even going to remember that I have strobe. But if I have a couple seconds to think about it, then yeah, in that particular situation, I might want to use strobe so that I can disorientate the target while I'm trying to defend myself. So it's just cool to have the option. You don't have to use it. You can program it so that doesn't come on. So yeah, I mean, this is awesome. I have all the extra pieces. They give you different mounts as well. Excuse me, not mounts, but inserts for the mounts so that you could use it with different guns. This also has the slide system. I'm not going to take this off right now because it's locked on, but same deal where you can adjust this front to back. So for me on the 43X, the finger position's pretty good. I like to have it all the way to the rear, butted up against the trigger guard. And this happens to work out really well. I can tell you that this sticks out ever so slightly past the muzzle. And when I was first shooting, I did notice that the glass was, you know, kind of covered with burnt residue and powder and stuff, which of course made the light less effective. It was a little bit dimmer because now it has a little layer of dirt and like I said, you know, powder from the from shooting. It cleaned off fairly easily. There was one spot like in the corner where it was, maybe because of the heat, it was kind of baked on, so to speak, but I was able to get that off with some lighter fluid. Not the end of the world. I do like that these are compact. I think they look better when they're kind of, you know, behind where the muzzle is. Now, even though I don't like big flashlights sticking way past the gun, there is a tactical advantage for that. If you don't know with semi-automatic guns, if you're fighting with someone and they're right on top of you, if you push your gun into them, sometimes the tiniest movement on the slide, pushing the slide back, will put the gun out of battery, so it will not fire. So there are those very, very rare cases where someone drew their gun, shoved it right into someone's chest, pulled the trigger, and nothing happened, and they don't know why. And that's because, you know, soft tissue just happened to push back a little tiny bit on that slide, and then, you know, made the gun non-functional. So if you do have a light sticking out, it's not the end of the world, because that'll keep that particular very specific thing from happening, which, who knows, maybe that's a situation you get yourself in one day. So yeah, I mean, these lights are fantastic. I think the price is right. Obviously, weapons lights range quite a bit. They could be very expensive depending on the brand and style and all that. 600 lumens is good enough I'll say that. I'd always want more. The brighter, the better. I'd prefer 1,000 lumens, 1,500 lumens, but when you look at weapons lights in general, they're not always all that bright. And again, the disadvantage of the big ones is it's more awkward. I happen to pocket carry this gun, so the smaller the light, the better. This is absolutely perfect for this situation. So I'm digging it. I really, really like, and again, it's the biggest sell for me, is the detachable battery and replacement battery. So if I go to grab my gun for the day and I notice that my battery is weak or is not fully charged, I can swap the batteries real quick and be on my way. No big deal. All right, I think that's a huge, huge advantage. All right, just once in a while, I will check and make sure this is nice and tight, and that's it. That's pretty much the only, quote unquote maintenance is to ensure that is, connected to the gun firmly. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That is the difference between the Olight Valkyrie PL Mini 2 and the PL Mini 3. I dig the new one, but there's nothing wrong at all with the old one. Again, they're both 600 lumens, all right? I just like this system better. So that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have an awesome day. And let me know your chosen or preferred weapons light in the comment section. I like tons of different brands. They're all good in one way or another. But for this setup, this was the perfect option for me. That's it. See you guys tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.